Well, this clay target legend was coached by another clay target legend. Phil and Steve are going to tell us more about the legendary Todd Bender.
Well, thank you, Matt. I'm Steve Ellinger, and along with Phil Murray, this is Clay Target Legends, and we are here at the 2025 NSSA World Skeet Shoot in San Antonio, Texas. And Phil, not only do we have two legendary shotguns in front of us, but we have probably one of the most legendary skeet shooters in history, Mr. Todd Bender. Welcome, Todd.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your history of a skeet shooter and how you got started and your coaching and that sort of thing.
So I started in 1973 with my dad shooting registered targets, and I was 11 years old. And my dad kind of did everything, flew airplanes, scuba dived, and once he introduced me to shotgunning, I was like, what I wanted to do. And he was probably a little bit disappointed. And now, before he died, he was pretty proud of what I had accomplished in 50 years.
Yep. You made good beer.
Absolutely. So I just kind of got hooked on it, and that's all I've ever done.
So Phil, before we talk about these legendary shotguns in front of us, I know a lot of people want to hear about that. You and Todd go back a long way.
More than we'd like to admit, probably.
Tell us a little more about you and Todd and your history.
Our California roots and all that go back, and Todd was a junior shooter way back when I was there, and over those years we've had a 50-year plus friendship, I think, and that makes us really old. But the bottom line is that this is a treat for me to have the opportunity to sit here with Todd, because we had shot two-man team partner. We were on five-man teams. We competed against one another. He's always been one of the people I really recognize as one of the great shooters, along with his two-man team partner Wayne Mays. This is one of the two. Wayne was the other one, and these two guys were what skeet was all about. And the great part about it is that once he decided that no longer he was going to shoot, he still was given his time, given lessons, and he's one of the best instructors in the world. He goes all over the world. I'd love to see what his travel budget is, but the bottom line is that Todd Bender I've always looked upon, and I've been honored and lucky to be able to shoot with him. But he's one of the best shooters the game's ever seen.
Thank you, Phil.
And Phil, you mentioned his teaching and instructing. Todd, tell us a little bit about how you teach and instruct.
So I went to Trinity University on scholarship to shoot skeet, and I got my feet wet coaching with Colonel Hansel, our coach, and we had a PE course, Trap and Skeet 101. I taught for 4 years in Trinity, and I got out of school. I was a business major, minor in accounting. Took just enough accounting to know I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. But I taught with Colonel those 4 years, and I had a PE course. I started coaching, and I graduated in '82. And here I am 4 years later, and coach constantly around the world. So it's been a good deal.
Now you did release a number of years ago some very well received videos of coaching. Let's watch some of that right now.
All right, I want to break it about halfway to me with no lead at all. Just point right at it and shoot. Head on the gun, eye on the target. Fundamentals at all times. Got my foot position facing the low house. Hole point, level the bottom of the window, and out about 3 feet. Eyes in the hole. Pull. Let's do that one more time. Going through our routine, foot position, hole point, level the bottom of the window, 3 feet out. Eyes in the hole. Pull. Head on the gun, eye on the target. Let's see what that looks like over the shoulder. Pull. Now let's do that one more time. Now always remember, always shoot twice at low 8.
I think to be a great shooter, number one, you have to have passion for what you do. Every top athlete has a passion for what they're doing, which means they go the extra mile. They'll put more into practice. They'll do more than the average guy. You also have to have opportunity. And also, and this is one thing that Wayne Mays was great at, you have to have a champion's mindset. Your brain needs to be in the right spot where you just know what you control what you're thinking and you control the outcomes and you're thinking the right things. You're thinking like a champion. And if you got the passion and the mindset, you can be great at the sport, great at anything actually.
Yeah, and the thing is that the ironic thing that as we sit here and directly across from it is Todd's mentor and the guy that had such an important part of so many great shooters' lives, Robert Paxton, all these guys, that Colonel Hansel, and it's one of those things that he was. Like I was lucky to have D. Lebron as a mentor. You were lucky to have Colonel Hansel.
I think there's 8 people in the NSSA Hall of Fame that are direct descendants from his program out of Trinity. And that says a lot. I mean, 8 guys in the Hall of Fame from that program, it's impressive.
So Wayne, how did you get involved with Wayne shooting and become such a legendary team?
So I got out of college, and there was a shoot in Chicago, the Great Western, and they had big money for 5-man team that back in the 80s. And the first time I shot Wayne, he was loading the squad. He didn't care nothing about me. He wanted the scores. He wanted that 5-man team money. So he said, "Hey, you want to shoot me in Chicago?" I said, "Yeah." "Oh my God, I'm gonna shoot Wayne Mays."
I know a lot of people want to know about these 2 famous shotguns sitting in front of us. Tell us about those, specifically your 3200 and, of course, Wayne's Beretta.
So
tell us about that.
This 3200, I wanted to, as a kid, I was 15, I wanted an over and under. And the Remington just come out with a 3200, I think in 72. This was 1975. So I really wanted an over and under. And my dad looked at me and said, "Well, save your money up, you can buy one." So I saved my money up, and my mom took me to Bowers Wholesale. It was a big place in LA for guns and shooting stuff. And I bought this 3200 new in the box for $425. And my mom drove me up there. I was 15, I didn't have a driver's license. So she took me up there. I had $425, bought this gun new in the box. That was Thursday. Sunday, I went to Redlands, California, broke my first 100 in the 12 gauge. Then in 1980, I broke my first 400 straight with that gun.
And of course, this is one of the most winningest guns in clay target history right here in front of us. And it is a Remington 3200, which was a standard competition shotgun that a lot of shooters used.
And the thing that you also have to remember is that this was basically the starter gun for Todd. He would eventually get into the K80, Krieghoff through Dieter Krieghoff and the people at Krieghoff and all that, where he would set up a host of records.
Tell about the other gun here, Todd. This is also a legendary shotgun.
So this is Wayne's Beretta 687 EELL. And Wayne did a lot of stuff, but all the stuff he did with that gun right there. I shot with him for those 30 years that he shot that gun, maybe 20 that he shot that gun. Yeah, but most of the championships that he won, the long run records. In fact, that gun right there, to this day, he holds a 410 long run record at 777, 777 straight. So I'll tell you a story about that. So he held the record at like 480 or something. And then I broke it. I pushed it into the 500s. And so I held the 410 long run. And I thought to myself when I broke that record, I said, this record's probably safe. But there's one guy on the planet that could probably break this. Well, I was right. It was Wayne. With that gun, 777 straight with 410.
Yep.
Which still stands.
And Phil, I believe you were in one of the longest, if not the longest, shoot-offs on record with Wayne.
With Wayne, and that was his other killer gun, the Blondie. But this particular gun, I feel like I'm part of it because I worked for Beretta then, and I got it in Wayne's hands. And he's won. There's more championships won with that Beretta 687 EELL than any other gun that's been out there.
That's amazing. And if members want to come by the museum and look at these 2 amazing historical artifacts, we have them in the Todd Bender and Wayne Mays display case here at the Hal DuPont Museum.
Yeah, and that's, the thing that I'd be remiss if I didn't, statistics, scores and things, you can always look those up, but there's one statistic that I think needs to be mentioned about Todd. Todd has the high overall record for an average. Now let me read you this tally because this is incredible. As a shooter, I couldn't even break this in my dream. He has the highest all-around average of .9972 out of 1,000. That was on 5,750 targets. The 12 gauge, for example, he had shot 1,550 targets. He never missed one the entire year. The 20 gauge, he had 1,399 out of 1,400. He missed one target during the year. He duplicated it in the 28 gauge, missing only one target during the year out of 1,400. In the 410, he had to work a little bit. He missed 14 targets, but he still had a 99 410 average. Can you believe that? That's a 99.72 average. If you miss a target, you lower your average. Incredible.
Well, Todd has been a legendary shooter and a role model for a lot of younger shooters.
Oh, absolutely.
Is a shooter back in the late 80s and early 90s. You know, you could not pick up a magazine without reading about the great Todd Bender. And here he is sitting here with us. So it's quite impressive.
Well, the Bender's a legend. Wayne Mays, they only talk about perfect scores. Two of the greatest shooters that the game's ever seen, and it's been my pleasure to know Todd and to have him here today that we could talk about it. And Steve, we're lucky to have Todd here.
Yeah, and I do want to ask you a couple of questions. There is a picture, and we'll put that up on the screen right now, but it shows you with a very young girl that you were coaching.
Yep.
That went on to become one of the most winning shooters in Olympic history.
So,
who might that have been?
That would be Kim Rhode. You see the picture. She was 10 years old. That was out in Fresno, California. She was 10 years old. So I've known Kim forever. And I go to LA and coach every year, and she is always training. Every time I'm there, she trains. She just shoots an amazing amount. And it's funny. She's still the sweetest girl. She's still that 10-year-old that I knew.
Absolutely.
40 years ago. 6 Olympics, medal in every one of them. But she's just the same person. She's awesome. So I happened to be in Atlanta when she won her first gold medal, which is doubles trap. And that was the first year that there was major security in Atlanta for the Olympics. That's when they had the bombing. But all the athletes were cordoned off. They had bodyguards, and you couldn't get to them. So they're getting ready for the gold medal round in doubles trap. And I'm at the top of the grandstands with her dad, who I've known forever.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there, we can't get the athletes, and they had like an hour before they got shot the gold medal round. So I'm sitting there just talking with her dad, and I look, we're top of the grandstands. Here comes Kim bounding up the stairway in shorts and t-shirt. So she gets up to us, and she says, "Hey, what's going on?" Like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" Because you couldn't get to the athletes. And her and her dad are just like this. I mean, he's always there, just ever since she started. So she said, "Well, I told my bodyguards that I wanted to be my dad before the gold medal round." They said, "Well, that's impossible." She said, "So I ditched my bodyguards. I took all my USA stuff off. I jumped a fence, and here I am." So she talked for about 20 minutes, and just like a kid at a picnic, right? Just having a good time. And if I was in the gold medal round, I'd be punching holes in the walls.
That's right.
So she said, "Well," she goes, "Yeah, they're probably looking for me right now. I should probably go." So she started bounding down the stairs, but she's like a kid at a picnic. And I looked at her dad and I said, "There's your gold medal winner right there." Because she was just
And she did
relaxing.
not disappoint.
Absolutely not.
She did not disappoint. One other thing I was going to ask, of all the places that you have competed and shot, what is your favorite place? I know that's a tough question. Was it Lordship?
It's hard because there's so many great places over the 50 years that we shot. Lordship, Connecticut was like our Augusta. Not my favorite place to shoot because it's one of the hardest places to shoot.
Because of the winds?
It was horrible. If it was nice, it was great. That's really hard to say. Savannah, back when I had the World Shoot there, Forest City Gun Club, that place was awesome. When it comes to today, if you ask me, there's two top-notch, above, head and shoulder above everything else. That's Northbrook in Chicago and Greater Houston Gun Club in Houston. Mm-hmm. Those are the two best clubs, best targets, best facilities, best management. There's a lot of places. Stockton, back in the day, right. Stockton, California, was amazing. So there's just so many great places. Most of them are gone now. But there's so many great places, so it's hard to pick one.
Well, we have recently, Phil and I and Matt have shot in Northbrook and Greater Houston, and you're right. They're some of our places as well.
They're the best, yeah.
Well, Todd, one last thing. You have got this fantastic T-shirt on today. Tell us about the Clay Target Legends, the Road Cruise.
So I watch. I don't know if you. I hope you guys out there are watching this all the time. These guys are doing amazing stuff at the museum, amazing stuff with this series. So I get to see the videos, and somewhere, there's a picture you posted, and I saw his T-shirt, and it was Clay Target Legends, was a great logo, but then it says Road Crew, and I thought that's awesome. So I sent a message to Steve. I said, "I don't care what it takes. I have to have one. Get me one." And I showed up at the World Shoot, and hey, here we go.
Well, Mr. Bender, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And on behalf of Phil Murray, I'm Steve Ellinger. Matt, back to you.
One great thing about our museum here in San Antonio is that we have Todd Bender's display along with Wayne Mays. They made a great pair and were true clay target legends. Unfortunately, Todd's shooting career was kind of cut short a little bit because of a car wreck that affected his vision, but it still allows him to coach. I'm Matt Smith. This has been Clay Target Legends. We ask that you please visit our sponsors and hit that subscribe and like button so that we can make these videos shareable.